In that moment, when I was sitting in the toilet floor, like in the bathroom floor, just throwing up and constantly, I was like, in my heart, I knew something was like, okay, this isn't normal, but something still inside of me told me was like, you need to find out.
Even though I'm not in the situation, I can empathize with them so much. It just like makes me value life so much more. Life especially. Knowing like people are coming to us and trusting us with situations that they face, honestly, it's so rewarding.
So I knew about Life Center because of my sister. She actually came here to get her first ultrasound. And I didn't want to tell her anything like, oh, give me the number of Life Center because I need to go check, because I didn't want nobody to know in my family. So I ended up Googling Life Center and found out they have a mobile clinic, and I called that. I ended up making an appointment for myself before work, and I decided to bring a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, to go with me because I was scared to go alone at the time because I didn't want none of my family to know, because I didn't want my parents to know. So I ended up going, and I got there before my friend did, and when I came to the door, it was my friend from a long time ago and from high school, Jisabel.
I was just going about my day doing some patient work, and I see like a young girl walking towards me, and I am pretty blind, so at first I didn't know. It was Natalie, who I've been knowing for years.
And once I saw her, I panicked. So I entered in, and I just like sat down, and she started like handing me papers to fill out. And that's when I panicked, and I told her it wasn't for me.
So yeah, of course she told me she was there for one of her friends. So I was sitting there waiting for her friend to come up. And I honestly, when the other friend started filling out the paperwork, I could see how it took so much from Natalie to be like, you know what, honestly,
No, it's not for her, it's for me. And I just didn't want to go through with it because I saw you, Jezebel, and I didn't want you to know that I was gonna, like, if I am pregnant, that I am pregnant.
Like in that moment, I don't know, I felt like it was like so reassuring. Like I remembered why I love doing what I do. It was good for like to know, hey, like Jezebel, out of everyone in the world, you're here for her right now.
So I took the test, and then she waited for a few minutes, took the little stick, and then came out positive. And that's where I like panicked more, and I like freaked out because I just knew it was my last semester at Sac City, and I know I was going to transfer to Sac State in the fall. So finding out that I was pregnant at that time was like pretty hard. Especially the hard part was telling my parents.
You know, I wanted her to find more than anything a friend in me, and I wanted her to know that no matter what, like I was there for her, and we were gonna figure it out together. I knew she was like at a scary point in her life, and she probably didn't know what to do next, but I wanted her to know like no matter what, I was gonna be there for her.
In my mind, where I thought, okay, everybody's gonna call me dumb, everybody's gonna say you can't do it, everybody's gonna tell me like horrible things. I thought like, oh, great, now another pregnant young girl without marriage. You know, those people that just say things like that. And I thought my sisters or my brothers or even my dad, I thought my dad was gonna call me dumb too and kick me out of the house. But when that happened and when everybody acted completely different than what I expected, it just like became a big, huge relief, because even those 2 weeks that I was like, you know, taking everything in, I was praying every single day, like crying to bed every single day, you know, just like, I need help, asking God, like, they need to react different because I don't want anything worse than that. So it just like, it was amazing. It was amazing for me because I felt like he answered my prayers. He really did. And my dad, he was the one that, he saw me crying, so he came up to me and hugged me. And that completely took me by surprise, you know. He told me everything will be okay and told me that I can do it and I can still go to school and that they'll have my back no matter what.
I mean, seeing her grow up, honestly, I'm so excited for Natalie, and I can't wait to see, you know, her baby grow up, and I can't wait to meet Melanie. And she honestly has amazing parents, so.
In the year 2001, we came to Life Center with a confusion in mind, what to do. And I was really wondering how I would go with the third child at that time, as my husband was not at all available at home.
She was under the impression that she was coming to the Life Center to get an abortion. So from the very beginning, she was not happy with me. And her husband, Bikram, he also was unhappy with me because he wanted her to continue her pregnancy, and he believed he was driving her to get an abortion.
Yeah, it was 1.5 months, and then I realized I didn't get my periods. That means maybe I'm pregnant. And then I took the test, pregnancy test, and it came positive.
She was adamant that she was going to have an abortion, and it was because she had 2 children, 1-year-old and 2-year-old. She was overwhelmed at home, one of them in her arms all the time, and then the next one in her arms. So she had a lot going on at home. She was in a small apartment. I believe she didn't have her own transportation, and then her husband was driving a cab all hours. So, and they knew her to the country. They didn't have other family, friends here, so she really did feel overwhelmed. You know, in the end, push came to shove. She was not having it, but to her credit, she did agree to come back for the ultrasound appointment. So probably 2 weeks later, she came back in, and this was that day at the end of May. She came back in for her ultrasound with us. She had the ultrasound, everything was fine, and afterwards we sat down and talked again. We revisited all of the things that we had talked about. Nothing that I did or said really made a difference. So, you know, this was something, what happened with Renew was really, it was a prayer that she made to God. It was between her and God, her story, what happened. We just hosted it, in other words. We were here, I was there to listen to her, but she's the one that made the decision. As I was walking her out the door, she had told me that she had asked God for a sign that He would be with her during the pregnancy and afterwards, and that He would help her in raising a child.
So I said, it's a month of May, and if you could show me some snowfall in Sacramento.
And as we were walking out, I could see, and mind you, this was a day that started off very sunny and beautiful, a beautiful spring day. I could see that it was starting to sprinkle, and I said, "Oh, Renew, it's starting to sprinkle." And she says, you know, and I said, "Well, could this be the storm?" And she said, "This is not a storm, this is just rain." She left the office, and it wasn't long after that I was headed home from work, and the sky darkened. It was very dark, and it was, you know, those days where the sky can be dark in one area and sunny in another area. And then thunder and lightning started, and then the hail started, where little bits of snow, you know, was mixed in with the hail. And as I was coming through my neighborhood, there was so much hail that the gutters were white, had gone white with piles of hail. So I thought, well, this seems like a storm, but maybe she's not really looking for a literal storm. So by the time I got home, my machine was blinking, my answering machine, and I had a message that I needed to call Renew and that she had changed her mind.
And I was full of tears, and I was showing my kids, see, there's snowfall. So I see outside, and they said, "Mama, it's really falling, snow is falling outside." And I was in full tears. He's helping my third kid. I was touching my belly, and no worries now.
December 25th, Christmas Day. He was supposed to be born on New Year's Eve, December 31st. I was far away in the mountains. I was coming back. I was by Truckee, and she broke her water bag, and my brother and my mother, they took her to hospital. Before I come to Sacramento, they already delivered baby on Christmas Day.
So my childhood, I was always interested with like robotics, like how things work. So I disassemble things a lot around my house. It's really fun to work with programming, just seeing the things you can make, design, build. There's like a ton of possibilities out there. So yeah, I really like programming and robotics.
But we definitely want them to feel loved, and not just feel loved, but we love them. You know, that's why when we look them in the eye and talk to them, they almost always respond to that love. Somewhere inside, they know that you love them and you care about them. You want to help them. You're not there to judge them or talk them into anything or make them do something. You're just there for them. And that's the part that I like best about working here.